up, everybody, and welcome back to the Virzi Effect podcast show. My name is Paul Virzi, and you guys listening to episode 523, 24, I think 23. I'm having guests all the time now, so I don't fuck it. But anyway, got a great episode for you guys today. Hope you guys can hear me well, see me clear. I see the light reflection. Sorry about that. A lot of stuff to talk about on the show. I want to thank everybody who sent in, nice reviews and really loved the episode that I did with Vinny D'Agostino, who is a ex-FBI agent who investigated organized crime. He investigated cybercrime and creeps, and he investigated all types of shit, being in the Bureau. Then he, does stand-up comedy, but he's also like a Bitcoin expert. And when I mean expert, I mean, if you ever want to know about like cryptocurrency or Bitcoin specifically, man, listen to that episode. It's up there right now. I want to thank all the listeners, new listeners of the Virzi Effect, old listeners, the OGs who were there from the beginning. The show is growing immensely lately, and I can't thank you guys enough. Please rate, review, comment on the show. Tell a friend. That obviously makes the show go up. Get the Virzi Effect podcast, iTunes, Spotify, everywhere you get your podcasts, and spread the word. Please check out the website and also my YouTube channel. And that's VIRZI if you don't know by now. Yeah, a lot of unfortunate things, man. Obviously, the passing of Bob Saget, and then just recently, Louis Anderson, which is horrible. And I want to share a couple of quick things with those guys. And also, rest in peace to Meatloaf. I can't say I was a Meatloaf fan. I'm not talking about the food. I'm actually not a fan of the food either. I don't know what it is, but probably shouldn't talk about that the day that the guy passed away. But I know that a lot of people liked his music. He was actually good in, I believe, what was it, Fight Club? But rest in peace to those guys. It's, man, it's just a shitty thing. But I'll share a story. I have an unacceptable for you guys as well. And we'll get into a bunch of stuff this week on the Virzi Effect. Have another guest coming up next week. So a lot of TVE. I know some of you guys like listening to me and Bill Burr on the Anything Better, but some people just like to listen to me alone, the way I'm sure a lot of people like to listen to his Monday morning podcast alone. So anyway, I might have told this story before. I will be very quick with this, but it just stuck with me. And I know I have some new listeners, so bear with me if you heard this before. And the Bob Saget one I'll make quick because I think I recently spoke about it. And it's been so many podcasts. So I just want to say, Bob Saget was one of the first famous people that I met, like as far as like talked to, and was nice to me. And I can tell you guys this, all of the things that you are hearing, reading, seeing about Bob Saget are true. Everything about how sweet, kind, it's not just, oh, that's what people say. That's who that guy is. That's who that guy was. That is what that's the heart that was in that human. Like, this man was literally one of the sweetest people. And I felt it in the quickest of interactions. And I'm not trying to be one of these people that when somebody in the comedy community dies, I'm going to act like I'm a great friend. I was not. He was great friends with a lot of my great friends. But I was a young kid. I was doing a show at Stand Up New York, and a buddy of mine goes, hey, Bob Saget's coming down with John Stamos and his wife, Rebecca Romaine Stamos at the time. And I end up on stage. I think I go after him or before him. I think after him. And he sits down in the crowd with John Stamos right there, right at your feet. And I had this amazing improv moment. At least I felt like it was amazing at the time because it worked. And I go, wow, I go, Danny Tanner and Uncle Jesse are here. And, and people start looking, and I go, I'm not going to lie, guys. Full House was not a show I intended on watching. But then 22 minutes later, I'm like, how's DJ going to get out of this one? I don't know where that came from, how I said it, why I said it. but it gets a really good laugh. And afterwards, Bob Saget's there. And I was like, yeah, I didn't know. I saw you there. I didn't know what to say. He goes, no, that was really great. Just so fucking warm and so nice and really looking at me and talking to me. And it meant so much, man. Because when you're young and coming up in this business, if anybody that's been there, anybody that's doing what you're doing, anybody that's doing what you're doing and got to a level and looks at you and says something, you feel it, man. You feel it. And I don't care what profession you're in, you feel it. And I wrote a blog on MySpace. It was when you had MySpace at the time. And it wasn't even a blog. It was a list. Coolest people I met in show business. And it was like Bob Saget, rest his soul. It was, Artie Lang and this one and that one, all these people. But like, that's who that guy really, really was, man. Like, and the people that were devastated and crying. It was like, it's really like, that's who he was. Louis Anderson, rest his soul. I worked with him at Levity Live not long ago. Years ago, but not crazy long. And it's like, man, I really love your jokes, dude. You're really funny. I love the way you tell jokes. I'd love to talk to you about your jokes. Will you call me? You promise? Like that. And I remember overhearing him say to people, he's really talented. And that's a guy that's just been there forever. Johnny Carson, all the way up until, all the movies he's done and all the things he's done and the Comedy Store and all that. And it just means a lot when somebody walked your path before you and then they recognize what you're doing. And again, everyone talk about how nice of a person and funny. So, and whatever, all you could do is really kind of pay it forward. Cause I got to be honest with you guys, comedians, man, are really good people. A lot of them are really good people. I could count on one hand a couple of assholes, but we all have our things. We all have our mental things. We all have our neurotic shit, our OCD, our depression. Everybody's got a little something. But comedians are just kind, man. They really are, like, and it's okay to be a little fucked up and it's okay to be on medication. It's okay. All those things mentally, I've talked about it a million times. It's fine to do that. But comedians are just kind souls, man, for the most part. And it's really amazing to come across some of these really talented people like that. And it means a lot, it means a lot to hear those things. So I would say just pay it forward, whatever job you're doing. I know I want to pay it forward, I see a young comic, I want to say something because I know it might mean something. Not that I'm some fucking huge, but I know what it's like to be coming up and to achieve something and then see somebody else trying to get that, no matter what job you're at. If you're a doctor, a young doctor's coming up, be like, yeah, I like the way you hold the scalpel or whatever. I don't even know if I'm saying that word right. Or a lawyer, don't be like jealous of somebody coming up, like help them, give them wisdom because it comes back. So those are things that I really remember about the kindness of people that stick with you. Because when somebody's mean to you, that sticks with you in a worse way because it hurts you and you like question yourself and it could make you insecure. And are they right? Or why would they say that? Even if they're projecting their bullshit. So, but those were things I felt. Those were things that I felt from those guys. And it's a shame that they passed away. And again, I don't want to be disrespectful to Meatloaf because he passed away, same day. So, but it's just something that I wanted to talk about and address, and let's get into an unacceptable. That's what I'm doing for this episode, whatever it is. That's what I'm doing for this episode. I'll talk about horrible shit up front, and then I'm going to get into an unacceptable. So we're just going to dive in and we'll just see if this thing gets funny. I don't know. All right. I don't know. But, guys, it was bound to happen. What happened? It was bound to happen. What happened last night? Bound to happen. I took some time off in December to be with my family, be with my kids. It happened to be good timing because of COVID was crazy and just rampant and all over New York City. So finally, the COVID's done. The new year comes. I start getting some shows, some dates in the city, working out some material, doing some material from the special to get people excited and checking my stuff out. And everything is going great. And then my own words came back to haunt me. And you know what my words were? I said, do you want to know where the worst place after this pandemic was to perform? I thought people were going to be cool. I thought people were going to be fine after losing their lives, people's loved ones losing their lives, losing their jobs, not working for a long time, being cooped up in the house, all kinds of shit. Oh, everyone's going to go out and be fine. Everyone's going to go out and realize, what am I so uptight about? What am I so fucking freaking out about? I'm at a comedy club. Let's enjoy. We're not going to be sensitive anymore. Bring it. And I said, the worst place, though, still New York. 85%, 90% great, but you still get pockets. You know what comedy killer shit is? White women with a couple drinks in them saying something that they don't like. And you know, obviously, I mean, I'm not joking because that really kind of is the truth. But last night it came back. It came back. It actually wasn't. I gotta be honest though. It wasn't a white woman who said something from the crowd. It was a dude with white women, which is almost fucking worse. But I'm doing a show. I'm having a good time. And I found out that this table was yelling at other comedians. These people were yelling things out. They would wait for you to say something. And then once it would go down, they would yell something. And I did a joke, complete joke, unbelievable joke. Okay. I was basically talking about the lunacy of an action that people do, the lunacy of a violent act that people would do, making light of it, talking about how ridiculous it is, talking about, you know, how it's like the absurdity of doing something like that. And of course, these people took it literal. They didn't get the joke. The rest of the crowd laughing. The rest of the crowd laughing, whether they were white, black, Asian, Indian, everyone's laughing, women, everything. But these people took it literally. And I don't mean to act surprised about it, but it was just like actually thinking I'm invoking some sort of violent, like it's just unfortunate, like where you're at, where it's like you could actually listen to somebody make a joke about the absurdity of something. Okay. Make a joke about the absurdity of something. It's like on my first special, I did a joke about a mass shooting. And if you guys saw the closer, it was a joke about how they're like, oh, that's the most in history. And I'm like, how is that the most, you know, and I do a joke about it. It would be like listening to something like that and going, oh my God, is he like, does he not like, that's hard. It's like, I'm making light of the fucking absurdity of doing something like that. How horrible it is. You make light of it. That's what it is. You know, if you're sitting there talking and you're just like, man, you know, I don't even know an example to use, but yeah, we're walking up these trails, we're walking up these mountains, and there are all these freaking rangers up there just waiting. God, I just wanted to fucking push the guy. I just had an urge to push the guy off, or like so many of us, something like that. Do you think that I want to kill somebody and throw him off a fucking cliff? Like, that's the thing. That's the thing. It's you're taking the literal thing. And I realized something. I wanted to, when they said something, or they put something out there, like, that was horrible. That was terrible. I got to turn this off. That was horrible. I can't believe, like, invoking violence and thinking it's fun and seeing that. And it's like, to not see that, it's like, oh, I can't even reason with this person. This person is so fucking in some, I don't know what's like, this person is so fucked up, like mentally, that they actually are in a comedy venue at a comedy club where professional comedians go on stage to get reaction of laughter and joy. And then they're actually taking that seriously. So if George Carlin, rest his soul, he does a joke about rape, is he a rape? Does he care? Is he invoking rape? If somebody does a joke about cutting somebody, or if somebody does a joke about, like I said, pushing somebody off a cliff when they're hiking, that's what they really like. And the fact that somebody really believes that is like, well, that's not funny. It's crazy to me. It's crazy to me. There is nothing off limits on stage. Nothing. If you could find the funny in it, then and say it. In fact, I'll take it this far. The joke I did, I even said to the crowd, all right, guys, is anything off limits? Can I say anything? Is anything off limits? So bring it. And then I did the joke, oh, and it's the absurdity of it. So it came back to bite me, you know, but I mean, not bite me in a bad way. I mean, I had a great time. I stuck to it. If in fact, this annoying table made me go, you know, even harder and have more fun. But just the fact that somebody could like actually see that and go, oh, I saw this comedian. This is what they're about. This is what they're for. It's like, whoa. So yeah, I guess things are getting better. I guess things are back. Things are back. And I don't mean to sit here, you know, look, I'm gonna be honest with you. All I could do is be honest. New York City is I've said it before, New York City is one of the worst places to do stand-up when it comes to complaining and sensitivity. It just is. It just is. But at the same time, it's still one of the best, if that makes sense, because the people that get it and come out and love it are as good as any fans there are. But the pockets of this stuff, like misogynist. It's like misogynist. It's like, I have a daughter and a wife. Are you listening? You stupid, dumb fuck. Like, what are you talking about? You know, and it's scary to me because this is the first time ever, guys, ever me doing comedy, ever, where I'm going, wow, this is like scary. This isn't like complaining. Like, they'll use words where you're trying to start some awful shit. They'll use words that like paint you as something that you're not, that's really like crazy. And it's fucked up, man. It's really, really fucked up. And you know what it is? It's unfair and wrong. It's unfair and wrong, man. And to see that what it can do to people, what it's done to people. But comedians have to stay with it, man. You can't apologize. And I just can't believe that we're like, it's here again. I can't believe after all these people fucking died and we were locked up in our homes, people didn't like loosen up and go, hey man, like, we're all together. Like, let's fuck around. You know, the joke should be disarming, right? The joke should be disarming. The joke should take something that's tension and sad and sucks, and then just make everybody go, laugh. And instead it's like, wow, well, don't talk about that now. Not in these times. Not in these times. And it's like, no, it's a really like fucked up place. And I don't even know what to say other than, you feel like, hey, Paul, yeah, you know, the way you say you call shit. Well, dude, I called that because it was staring at me and I'm like, nah, man, I'm good. I don't care anymore. I really just truly don't care anymore. But what bothers me is like, I don't care about it on the stage and I don't care about, I know who I am. Do you know what I mean? I know the dude I am, and I know how I'm raising my kids, and I know that. But so it doesn't bother me from a professional standpoint, because I'm not going to change, but it bothers me for the bullying that it is and what it can do to somebody, and how a lot of these people don't realize, because they're probably mentally ill, that what they're doing is really bullying and doing something really disgraceful by painting a picture for somebody that it's not, you know, because, you know, when Louis C.K. did a joke about a school shooting and like, how are the fat kids are slow getting out, or whatever he did, and somebody videoed it and didn't get the whole thing of him just trying to work out a joke. And then it looked like he was doing that insensitive stuff. And it's like, you need to like at least hear the whole thing. Now, I'm not saying that somebody could go, listen, if somebody goes up there and just says some straight up, like, fuck, you know, go get a gun and shoot some, like, and there's like no joke. It's like, all right, what are you doing that for? But I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about just like working shit out and getting it filmed and thinking somebody is like, that's a real scary, fucked up thing. That's like a real slippery slope. You could really hurt somebody like that. So for me, man, I think it's really gross and sad, but the worst part about it is that person can't be reasoned with. Because if you're crazy enough to think that and believe that and not know what the joke is, or get the joke, or understand what the comedian is doing, and you're taking it like that, I think that, yeah, I think that there's like, it's a lost cause. It's like that person was never going to be, but what sucks is they're out in public. What sucks is that mentally ill person has, a platform to say something like that, like that. And it's just, and there's no place for that when it comes to the world of comedy, you know? So anyway, I won't harp on that anymore, but that one was just like, that was the first time I was like, what? Like, it's gotten there. And it really only seems to happen in New York like that. You go to other states, and no, not the the right wing crazy. No, not the right wing crazy states. Some blue states too. Like that's the other thing that people like to paint. People like to paint a picture and do what the media does, where they divide and go, well, these people like this and these people. No. There's normal, good people on both sides. Okay. I'm sure whoever's listening to this has a fucking aunt or an uncle that's Republican that they love, and they have somebody else that they love. I would hope so, because it's fucking America. So it's not, just these dumb red states left. No, you go to places. I've gone to places that are everything, and they're like, it just seems like New York is so fucking, has this thing of like, well, don't say this, and it's still overflowing into the comedy clubs a little bit. If somebody said to me, where's the last place? Okay. Or I'm sorry, if somebody said, where's the worst place to do an edgy joke where you're trying to make a point and hopefully the people will understand it, but you're going to get backlash. Where's the worst place? It's New York. It's New York. And New York is where I got my bones. I love New York. It hurts me to say that, but I have to be, I have to be real, and I have to be honest about that, because it's just, it's what it is. It's just everybody, I don't know, man. I'm on one of these things. I'm like, kind of, everybody's a fucking hypocrite now. Everybody's a hypocrite, both sides, left and right. Everybody it's just, talk to people that are normal, and then talk to people that aren't. And you're like, oh, fuck, that's why. I'll give you an example. This is how you know people are full of shit, right? This is how you know people are full of shit. Or this is one example, I should say. Okay. And this is not a left or a right thing. This is just a hypocritical thing for people. Okay. So pro-vaccination people, let's just use that. And again, this is an example. And by the way, I'm vaccinated. I'm vaccinated. So there you go. There's no bias here. Me and my family decided to get vaccinated, talked to my doctor, minded our business, and we got vaccinated after talking to the doctor. That's it. Whatever you want to do, you do. But pro-vax people go, yeah, well, some people are dying, but that's just a little thing. You're going to have that. When there's so many people in the country and there's so many people in the world, yeah, you're going to have a handful of people die. It's unfortunate, but the greater good, the majority of it are okay, right? But then you'll have some of those same people go, all cops are pieces of shit. They're fucking racist. They're killing everybody. And then you go, no, wait a minute, but that's just a small piece of shit group of people. Isn't it the same? Oh, so it doesn't fit your shit. That's what it is. It doesn't fit your shit. Your shit is, when it's about your argument, it's going to work. But if somebody goes, well, no, but the other side, that's not true. And I'm just using this as an example because I've seen people do that shit where they're like, no, it's just a handful over here. Okay, but then what about, like, I have a ton of cop friends. They're not racist. They're not doing anything. They're not shooting anybody. They're actually good people. So maybe, is that just a small group of shit? Oh, no, this has been going on for, so it's like nobody knows shit. Everybody, the majority of people just want to fucking be heard or be right. They're really, a lot of people are just really fucking dumb. I'm not saying I'm the smartest guy in the world. I tell dick jokes in strip malls. I've said that a million times. Okay. I tell stories. I'm hopefully entertaining. Hopefully you guys like what I do. I'm sure if you're tuning into this, you do like what I do. And you know the way that I think and how I am, and that I'll make fun of anybody. I'll make fun of anybody. I'll make fun of any president. I'll make fun of any political party. I'll make fun of anything stupid. If somebody on one side does it or the other, I'm going to fuck with it. If it's something to be fucked with, that's it. That's just the way it is with me. Okay. And some people can't take that. Some people can't take that. There's a problem with being in the gray. there's a problem with not being one-sided today. And that flows over in comedy. And I'll give you an example of that. I made fun of Trump in my first special about his tweets. In this one, I make fun of Biden. So what? You know what the criticism was? The only criticism? Oh, that I made fun of Trump. Oh, was he fucking Democrat? Now on this one, oh, what is he, a fucking righty? It's like, no. It's like, listen to his whole fucking work. Listen to all of my work. Watch all the things that I do and go, oh, this guy's just about funny. And that's how I like to live my life. So, there you go. That's pretty much what I wanted to say. And that's a part of the show today, because I'm just realizing that the older I get and having children and living life and interacting with people want to be, a lot of people, I shouldn't say all, because there's a lot of people listening to this that I think and hope think like me and are just kind of like, hey man, if it's right, it's right. If it's wrong, it's wrong. And I'm going to say what I feel. And I don't care what I'm affiliated to, like what I'm attached to. But there's a lot of people that just want to be right, and they're stupid, and they just pick a side, and their narrative has to fit what they think. And if not, they'll find a way to do it. And everybody's full of shit. Everybody is full of shit. Nobody knows shit. You ever think like that? Nobody knows anything. Live your life. Go fucking eat waffles in the morning with your kids. Have a great day. You know, watch your favorite show. Enjoy yourself. Have a good time. Laugh. Go have a couple drinks with buddies and shit like that. Yeah, talk about shit going on. Don't act like you know. Don't act like me and fucking Burr were talking about that on you know, on Anything Better, where people just, so I'm not going to obviously harp on it here, but people act like they know about COVID. Doctors don't know about COVID. That's the funniest thing. Doctors and scientists are still figuring out how this thing is mutating, why it does this, what's it going to do next, what do the symptoms mean, why do some symptoms stay with some people, and why do symptoms go away with some people real quick. Doctors are trying to figure that out. People that went to school, and you got people that you fucking work with. There's a dude working at a tire shop. There is a man who works at a tire shop who today was going like, man, this is the fucking thing with COVID. This is the thing. I go to a deli, and there's some guy at the deli who stands there, and when he sees you with a mask or he sees you, he's like, man, you take that off. Nobody fucking, and I'm going, no, could he be right? Maybe. But he does it as if he's been in the medical field for decade upon decade upon decade. This guy is handing out roast beef fucking sandwiches. This guy is giving you a fucking slice of pizza, a meatball sandwich, and giving you lottery tickets. That's what this guy does. You can be like, yeah, dude, can I get a Pepto-Bismol behind you and the fucking New York Post? And he's going, yeah. I'm going to tell you something, man. Don't wear that, man. It's like, what are you talking about? You're in construction boots behind a fucking deli counter. You fucking zero. What are you talking about? And it's the same the other way. Oh, well, put your mask on, because it's like, I'm just using an example of what I see, you know? So there's nothing funnier than fake like arrogance or fake confidence in something that you truly don't know about, but you know where it comes from, everybody. It comes from fear. That's where it comes from. It comes from fear. All of that shit is afraid. So, and you handle it in different ways. So some people are like, no, there's nothing wrong, because they want to feel okay. They don't want to feel like something's bad. And then the other people are like, no, put that on, because they don't want to get sick. Everything is just based on fear, I think. You know, and again, the only reason why I'm using COVID right now is because that's what's going on. But it's like with anything, you know, with anything that happens, when there's a scandal, I'm going to tell you what happened. You know how many times somebody in this country probably said over lunch, I'm going to tell you what happened to John F. Kennedy. I'm going to tell you what the fuck. I'm going to tell you who was the shooter. I know. And it's like, you know, you don't know, you fucking, you know. So I think that's just what happens. And then you get those people that are really brainwashed, and you put them into a comedy club, and you ruin my night. And then I have to harp on it on a podcast to people, because you guys know when I get hot, I can't stop. I can't fucking stop. You know what I mean? But the best part about being at the level I'm at stand-up is just telling somebody, get the fuck out of here, shut up. you know? Someone goes, well, you don't know how people are going to deal. Like, people deal with things differently, but you know what everybody deals with the same? Shutting the fuck up. Because there's only one universal way to shut the fuck up. It's stop talking. Zip your mouth up. So, you know, I got hot. I'm not going to lie. I got hot because somebody tried to go at me and paint a picture about me that wasn't true. And there's nothing worse than that. That's my ultimate. That's like, you want to talk about fear. My ultimate fear would be to go to jail for something I didn't do. That's a big fear. And then have people believe, and think about that for a second. Because there is somebody right now, as you're listening to this podcast right now, as you're listening to the Virzi Effect 523 or 5, whatever, as you're listening to this, there is somebody who's done 2-3 decades in jail that didn't do it. Family disowned them. Children think they're a murderer, so they're not a part of his or her life anymore. The entire community is like, yeah, he did this years ago. She did this years ago. And that person is sitting in a maximum security prison, probably get institutionalized, tatted up, fights, having to survive, clinging to groups in the fucking prison in order to stay alive, right? Because it's, you know, that's the name of the game. And they didn't do it. And that's not the person that they are. And those people think that. That is the ultimate living nightmare, ultimate hell. That's living in hell. That's true hell. You know, if if there's a hell worse than that, then that's brutal. Because I could not imagine that. I could not imagine going to a maximum security prison, having to fight every day to stay alive, not knowing if you're going to get killed, not knowing what's going to happen. And everybody in your community, including your family and kids, think you're this horrific killer or whatever you did, and you didn't do it. That's existing today. Nothing worse. Nothing worse. So when people try to do that in real life, in society, on a smaller scale, it's what's grosser than that? What's grosser than that? Lying about, so, oh, that's what he thinks. That's the type of person he is. No. People shouldn't be able to get away with it. That's what I think. That's the Sicilian in me, though, you know. But you know what's funny is this podcast started out me talking about how kind Bob Saget was. Bob Saget and Louis Anderson, you know, they looked at me. There was such warmth. There was amazing warmth, and they were such nice people. And they almost, you know, wanted to say it to me to build me up. And they walked the path, all the shit I said. And now I'm sitting here, just people are dumb. Everybody wants to think to, you know. But I'm gonna tell you guys something. And I really haven't I haven't talked about this to my podcast listeners, not even really to my family too much, but I could tell you guys that I'm in a different place mentally. And it's a really good place. I'm at a place now mentally where, like, things I thought I needed, I don't need. Things that I thought mattered don't matter, all in a good way, you know. And if there's any comedians listening to this right now, I'm please listen to this. If there's any advice I could ever give anybody, understand that the fulfillment you think you need and the hole that you think needs to be filled, what that really is with some of you is so temporary and means nothing. And knowing who you are, being comfortable and happy in your own skin. All right. I'm not trying to be some fucking motivational. I'm not trying to do that. Okay. I have my days, you know, but be happy with your own lane. You know, when you see somebody get something or do something in show business, and you go, man, I should do that. I should do it. No, you're going to get however the fuck you're going to get there your way, your lane, you know, your path. And not to sound corny, your destiny, man, the way you're supposed to do it. That's what I think. You know, that's the way. You know, not, oh, well, this person did it, I guess that's got to be the rite of passage. Man, fuck the rite of passage. Write your own shit. Get your own story. Make people go, oh, they did that. I want to do that. You know how I got into the Comedy Cellar? I'll tell you guys how I got into the Comedy Cellar. I didn't audition for it. I auditioned many, many years earlier. And there was like, oh, we're going to try on a different time show. You went on so late, and it never happened. And then all of a sudden I started to become somebody in comedy in the New York comedy scene. And I'm like, well, I can't go there and do that. So I'm like, I guess the only way that I'm ever going to get into the Comedy Cellar is if they hear about me or something like that. And guess what? They heard about me and they were nice to me. And they were like, hey, we have a room in Vegas we want you to do. And in the meantime, why don't you do our New York room? And that happened that way. You know how I got the Montreal Comedy Festival? I got the Montreal Comedy Festival because they said no to me a couple times. And then I had a great audition and they were about to say no again. And I go, all right, well, there's nothing I could do now. And they were like, you know what, though? He's beyond like a new face level and he deserves to be just a paid professional at this festival because that's how undeniable it was. That's an unconventional way. Very few guys did that. That's my way. And that's fine. And I'm learning the older I get, like other things in life are fine that way. Fuck everybody else. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. All that dumb shit that you think matters, hanging out. Maybe if I hang out and drink, yeah, okay, hang out for a little while. But you know what you do? Just be fucking killer funny and have people talk about you and shit's going to happen. All that dumb shit. I need to do this. I need to do that. No, man, you need to fucking be with the people that you love. Do the shit that matters. Do the shit that matters, man. Be with the people that matter. Because at the end of the day, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? You're going to fucking, yeah, man, I lived my life to fucking do a $25 spot somewhere and left my family on a Tuesday because I think it's like, what? Oh, you guys got me going right now, man. But I'm in a good place. It's a funny thing to say after I'm yelling. No, but I'm in a good place where those things don't matter. So I guess the reason why sometimes I get heated up and the reason why sometimes I go hard with shit like that is because maybe in some sense, I'm actually upset with myself what I did put, and then there's the question, well, when I did put those things, a priority that seems silly now, is that what got me to this point? Maybe some of that, maybe cut it in half, something like that. But was it really stupid and ridiculous and did it matter? And the true answer was no, it didn't matter. You want to know why? Because I was going where the fuck I was going anyway, because I had the drive. And hopefully the talent, but it was there, the talent, the drive, the luck, the persistence, the drive to get the opportunity to get lucky. Don't forget that too. You have to drive yourself and you have to, keep doing things that put you in a situation where you can get lucky. Right? Oh, there's a lot of people at this show. So let me get on that show because if I do good at that show, somebody at that show, you being persistent like that was what made the luck happen because you happened to get up and somebody saw it. But yeah, like I don't care what other people do. I don't care that this is what this person's doing. I don't care that, oh, did you hear this? I don't care. I don't care. You shouldn't care. Just do what you do. Fuck everybody else. And don't listen to any advice. Just listen to the Virzi Effect podcast. Listen to my dumb ass yelling in my studio, in my home, by myself. Imagine I realized that after all this shit I'm talking, I didn't hit the record button. And my wife is like, where were you? Did you do a podcast? And I'm like, I was working stuff out. Yeah, but you were yelling in there for like long time. No, I was I was on the phone. Well, so that's where I'm at. So if that makes anybody, but that goes for anybody listening to this, anything, like if you're not in show business and you think like, hey man, the people at my job do this to get this, maybe I should do it. It's like, no. There's probably somebody going, yeah, Paul, I know this. I'm not a fucking weak asshole. Maybe that's the case too. But anyway, let's get into some other shit. Let's talk about some other shit going on in the world. All right. There's a lot of things going on in our country. One thing that is good, and I don't care what anybody's belief is on COVID or vaccines. The nice thing is New York is finally getting those numbers down. It looks like it peaked. It got to the peak, and now it looks like it's fallen off the shelf because everybody we knew had it. Everybody that knew somebody that knew somebody that had it, everybody was quarantined. Kids are back at school, and hopefully, guys, hopefully, fingers crossed, this is it. This is like this was like the last big surge. The warm weather is going to come and the shit's not going to come back. That's the thing. But it's nice to know, because I'm not going to lie. I went to New York City. It was a ghost town a week and a half ago. Ghost town. Felt like a movie set. I got out of my car. I'm like, what's going on here? The club was light. It was just people were, it was like, oh, that person's got it. Everyone's got it. All these, performers apparently got it. People were doing shows, testing positive, having to leave like shows, Broadway, all that shit was shut down. And now it's starting to come back. So that makes me, and if you're a naysayer, just let me have this moment. Let us have this moment. All right. Don't be like, no, there's another, those people. We were laughing because I was in Atlanta. And by the way, I don't know if I think I thanked everybody, but all the people that came out to Atlanta. But I was in Atlanta with my buddy Joe Gonzalez, and we were laughing because it said there's a new variant that's a little touch of Delta and a touch of Omicron, and they're calling it Deltacron. like some Transformer villain. The Deltacron is coming, but it's just getting too much now. It's like enough's enough with these silly ass variants. Like, let's just stop. And hopefully it runs out. And I love how I say, just let it stop. Like there's somebody you could call. Hey, yeah, look, COVID, look, man, you guys had a 2-year run. And that's the other thing though. 2 years is what it seems like ends it. Historically, 2 years is like a pandemic's shelf life. All right, let's talk a little football before I get out of here. I'm trying to think of any movies that I saw. Oh, speaking of like the prison thing, I saw this movie Shot Caller. I think it's like 2017 or 18. It was on, I believe, Netflix. I don't know, but it was brutal, man. Brutal. A businessman goes to jail and turns into a hardened criminal. And he was like a stockbroker. And it was just like ultimate fear. You got to watch that one because that one was brutal. And I'm excited about the new Scream movie. I'm going to watch the new Scream movie. I almost just told the screen, don't tell me what happens. I literally almost say, I'm talking about people that aren't realistic or reasonable or logical. And I'm looking at a camera and I almost said to somebody that's not there, don't tell me though, don't ruin it, as I'm talking and controlling the recording. But let's talk a little bit about football this weekend. We talked about it on Anything Better, but if you don't listen to Anything Better and you just listen to this, I like Cincinnati with the points, but I still think Tennessee could win a very, very close game. So I think it's 3.5. I like Cincy with the 3.5, but I could see Tennessee winning by 3. But my money would go to Cincy with the points. The other game is Buffalo getting 1.5 with the Chiefs. I like the Bills to beat the Chiefs. I like the Packers to beat the 49ers. And the one game that I just don't know is the Rams Bucks. It's -3 for the Bucks. They're favored by 3. Gun to my head, I take Tampa just because Brady at home. They're going to be fired up. Yeah, it's Brady. I would do that, but I got to tell you, if the Rams win, I wouldn't be surprised. That's a hard one. Gun to my head, I take the Bucks -3, but that's the toughest one of all of them. And I'm going to be betting it. I'm going to be betting it with BetMGM. They've been great to us. And I hope you guys enjoyed the Jimmy the Greek thing that we did on the show and all that. So I know that this one got a little heavy. I got a little fucking philosophical. That was the Greek side of me. For you people that don't know, I'm not just a Italian because I look that way, Sicilian. My mother's 100% Greek, so I am Greek and Sicilian. And sometimes I go off on these on these things. You like the hand gesture? Where am I going to be performing? Come out and see me perform. I'm coming in hot. Guys. I'm going to be at Fairfield, Connecticut, February 4th and 5th. Come to Fairfield, Connecticut, February 4th and 5th. Last time I was in Fairfield, Connecticut, inside the club, I think I kicked 2 drunk women out who were talking and being disruptive. And then after them being rude and me dealing with it for about a half hour of my hour, I kicked them out. And then I was a rude piece of shit. And they were in the hallway crying because, of course, they're the victim. Why are you being so mean to us? It's like, oh, because you were being disruptive, and he dealt with it for 30 fucking minutes. So I'll be back there. I will be at the Pittsburgh Improv February 24th, one of my favorite cities, one of the most underrated cities. I will be there. One show only, guys. Pittsburgh's going to sell out. One show only, Thursday night. Get your tickets now. Thursday night, Pittsburgh Improv, February 24th. Then I have the Vulcan Gas Company, the beginning of March. That's, I think, March 4th and 5th. In Vulcan in Austin, Texas. Then I have the Comedy Connection in Providence, Rhode Island at the end of March into April. And then I have in May, I have Tampa Side Splitters and got more dates coming up. We're talking about Buffalo, Chicago, Denver. We're trying to get to a bunch of different places. So special is coming out. We're finding everything out. I know I keep telling you guys that, but a lot of things have happened. A lot of things have happened. A lot of cool things have happened. So we'll see what's going on. There's some editing and do this and do that, but you guys will definitely know soon. And all my dates and all those tickets are available at paulvirzi.com. You can get ticket links on my website. Also, subscribe to, we're about to hit we got thousands of subscribers on the new YouTube, or I should say the pandemic channel, because the YouTube channel started during the pandemic, but I have a bunch of stuff on there. And please like and subscribe and go to my YouTube. Check out, obviously, continue checking out The Virzi Effect. Anything better with Bill Burr. And that's pretty much it, guys. That's where I'm going to be. And happy to be back. No COVID. Everything's good. The voice is good. No more colds. Enjoy. Oh, let's talk a little UFC real quick. I'm going to talk UFC because I'm getting into this UFC a lot. Now, I've been watching. I'm sorry if you're not into the UFC or whatever. These are the ballsiest dudes ever. Honestly, and I've said it before, to get into an octagon in basically boxer briefs, you're going into an octagon in boxer briefs against another human being that's the same size and weight, and everybody wants to tear each other's head off to get more money and get it. It's really the ballsiest. Could you imagine that? Just think about that. Next time you go in the shower and you're just down to your boxer briefs, just imagine if you were training in that setting to just go and rip somebody's face off. Like, that's what these guys do. I love it. I'm not going to lie, though. That last fight that they had last week, I forgot the guy's name. That guy got bloodied up. So he looked like he got hit with a fucking he looked like Joe Pesci and his brother in the desert in Casino, when their fucking eye was bubbling and their head was this big and they're just throwing dirt in their mouth. He looked like, I mean, at one point I was like, you got to stop the fight. If you go to my Twitter and scroll down on my new Twitter, you'll see it. But this guy looked like he just a fucking a BMW just hit him in the face, and then somebody kept hitting him with bats. And then they do this picture at the end where they're all bloodied up. Like, they're like, his guy's head is split. His face is open. Like he loves it. And it's so ridiculous. But, I've been watching what's it called? The Countdown 2 and the Embedded and all that. And, I think that Francis Ngannou is going to lose to Cyril Gane. I think that that's what's going to happen. I think the French dude's going to beat him. I think he's going to be able to deal with his power. Could be wrong. I could be wrong, because I don't know what it's like to get hit in the face with a baseball bat. And I could imagine that when Francis Ngannou hit you with that. So, I mean, if one hit goes through, it's lights out. But I just have a feeling from what I'm watching that the French kid's going to beat him. And I don't know about the other fight, that Brandon Morano and that Davidson Figgy, whatever. I don't know. I don't know. Figueroa, I don't know how to say his last name, so no disrespect. But I have a feeling, if I had to bet, though, I would say, and I probably shouldn't because the kid seems tough, but if I had to bet, I would say that the Figgy guy is going to win and the French guy is going to win, based on just what I'm seeing. And that's basically a countdown too. So it could be completely wrong. And maybe that's what they want you to think, that they play it up like that. But that's how I see it. So I'm going to be watching that. I'm going to be watching football. It's going to be great. It's going to be a great weekend of sports. And yeah, man, be well, be with your families. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. And yeah, man, don't be like that. Don't be like that table, man. And here's the last thing I'll say before I get out of here, because I don't hold a grudge. The coolest part about last night was, and this is what makes New York, as much as it can be one of the worst places to do edgy jokes, this is why it's one of the best places on earth, because the crowd was like going at them and going, yeah, they were rude the whole time. And they were like on my side. So it's like, and even if they were not the way that I think, even if they didn't like a joke I did, even if they didn't like something edgy I said, they knew they were there for comedy and that those people were wrong. And that was what the beautiful thing about it was. So there you have it, guys. Thank you, guys. I hope to see you guys at a show. Thank you for letting the show grow the way it has. I'm going to have more guests coming up, and I appreciate you guys. So all the best, and I will see you guys next week.